What's up, YouTube? Another video today. Today's going to be a part 2 video on that 240 5-speed manual swap. So I got the 240 here today. Not going to be doing the swap today, but I finally collected all the parts that you need to do it, the correct parts down to the nuts and bolts and everything. So I'll overview that so that if you're doing this swap, you'll have all those parts. And then the last video I told you that I got hit on the 240 and the quarter panel got banged in, and I don't know how well you can tell in this video, but I got it fixed. Paintless dent removal. It was totally worth it. If you have the option to go paintless dent removal rather than having your car have to get taken back to bare metal and pull the dents and all that and repainted, try that first because it's totally worth the money. So this turn signal got smashed, so I just covered that hole up with tape. But I did manage to find one on eBay. Let's see. Unfortunately, this little piece here cost me about 50 bucks. So I'm sure I could have found one in a scrapyard or something, but this is like brand new quality and everything, so with the harness and all that. So I just did that. The other thing today I'm gonna do is, last video I started the disc brake conversion on the Mustang, which I can show you what I've done. Done. Side is all done. It was a bit of a pain, but nothing outrageous. The only problem that we did have was I finished this whole right-hand side. I went to do the left-hand side, and I realized that they send me two right-hand calipers, and they are different. So I had to go back, send the other one back, and get them to send me another left-hand. So I finally got that about a week and a half later, 10 days. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. Do that quickly, install the light on the 240, and then I'll do the overview on those 240 parts. So catch you in a minute. Okay, so we're back at my place now. Disc brakes are done, installed. I have to go back, and I'm going to do the brake booster with an upgraded one, and adjust all the lines. I might even do braided lines while the car is up, and I'm doing all that anyway, so I might do that. But I'm back at the house now, back to the 240 stuff. So in the last video, part 1 of the 240 swap, I had the wrong drive shaft, I told you guys. So I got the right drive shaft for non-ABS. This is the yoke that you're gonna want. It's gonna look like this with this big bolted part up here for this S13. And then the only way you can tell the difference between ABS and non-ABS, I'm pretty sure, is by the length. I think it's about a 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch difference or something. So I sold that other drive shaft for about 60 bucks, and I bought that one for 60 bucks, so no harm, no foul. And I got this piece that comes with it. I don't know if when you pull that automatic trans off, if it'll have this piece, but this is what just goes right here, like that. And that holds that bearing or whatever of your trans to your vehicle. So I got that. Over here, the last video, like I said, talked about what you need. I got my flywheel. So the flywheel, this is the same one that came with the transmission, but I think it was 40 bucks and I got it resurfaced. So basically all they do is they have a machine that pulls these pins out, and they just take an 1/8 of a mil off or something like that, some tiny amount. And you want a perfectly smooth flywheel, and you're gonna wanna make sure that they look at it or yourself and check that your flywheel doesn't have any stress cracks or warpage to it, because that's just going to be a problem when you go to install it. And make sure you have these flywheel bolts, these bolts and these for your clutch and stuff. And then that's the old clutch. It's kind of dark in here, but I didn't want to waste time checking the clutch and making sure that it was going to be okay to reuse that old clutch, because I needed a throwout bearing and a pilot bearing. So I was going to order those anyway, so I said screw it. I found this kit. It's like the cheap eBay one, but I figured for now, while the car is kind of stock, XTD. So the clutch plate's in there, pressure plate, your alignment tool, your pilot bearing, and the throw-up bearing is somewhere else. So much junk in here. So that's that. And then the last thing I think I didn't mention in the last video is your bell housing, your bell house bolts, right? So you need those bolts. So I think when you pull off the automatic trans, there's about 8, and there's 3 or 4 that you can reuse. But I just wanted it to be perfect and have the exact right lengths and everything. So I ordered these from Nissan. The problem was they came from all over the world. Some from the Philippines, some from Japan, some from the States, some from Canada, or wherever it was. So that took like 6 weeks just to get those bolts, and that's why I didn't follow up in this video, because I didn't want to make 3 parts of me just listing off parts. So I waited for those to come in, cylinders and shit. So yeah, have all the parts now. The one thing I wanted to say is when you do this, make sure that you have all the little bolts and stuff you'll need, because there's things like this where your slave cylinder bolts up here. You probably can't see it, and you need those little bolts that screw your slave cylinder in. And I don't even have those, and I just realized that. So that's something that when you go to do this swap, you're gonna be missing, and then you're screwed. Luckily, there's lots of places online where you can pull those up, and they'll just give you the spec of the bolt. You can just go to a hardware store and grab them, and that's what I'm gonna do. So be sure to do that, and just make a list. And I think if you're gonna do this swap, make sure you have everything you need before you start, because you can stop. It can cause you to stop, and that's just not worth the while. So that's everything you need. If you didn't see the first part of this video where I list all the other stuff, it'll be in my videos. But yeah, now that you've seen this, it's pretty much everything you need to do this swap. So questions, concerns, comments, anything like that, put them down below. And the next video will be me doing the swap, hopefully, the next part of this video series. And stay tuned, subscribe, like. Thanks.